Hey guys, Sharkin here and welcome to another one of my videos. Today, I'll be showing you guys exactly how to find your own farms so you don't have to wait for your favorite YouTuber or streamer to release a farm. Because by the time they release the farm, it's already flooded and overfarmed. So stick around and I'll teach you how I find my own farms and how you can do it too. Lately, we've been doing a lot of group open world farms where we would be force spawning certain mobs in a small area, which we would kill for hours on end and pray to the RNG gods for bind and equip epics or mounts to drop. Forced respawn means if there are a certain amount of mobs in one area and you kill them under a certain amount of mobs alive, it will force some to respawn so that the area would not be empty. While we have been doing that for ages, Blizzard has been also working on nerfing certain farms this expansion. I am unsure why Blizzard is doing this, and I have no idea if it's because we are killing them too many mobs or certain mobs or disrupting other players, but Blizzard has been nerfing spots. This deer farm has been going crazy in the last few days since I released it. Turned from a peaceful inn to the Bambi slaughterhouse. Yesterday, Blizzard decided to act on it. When I released it, I stated that these mobs were not part of any quest or objective, and if Blizzard didn't like what we were doing, they were going to stop the forced respawn completely. And Blizzard changed the forced respawn into just a normal respawn yesterday. So the mob at the Bambi slaughterhouse no longer respawn when killed. You have to wait 5 minutes or so for them to respawn normally, which completely nerfs the farm so it's no longer farmable. And I have no idea what Blizzard will nerf and what they won't. Anyways, let's get started. So there are two ways you can find a farm. The first is if you are questing and you see a high density mob area. These could potentially provide you with one of the best forced respawn locations possible. That is how I found the deer farm in Drosvar and some of my other farms. It's just as simple as keep your eyes open because you might find an amazing farm. While you're questing, while you're doing your world quest, anything like that. If you pass by an area and you think it's very good, there's lots of mobs, maybe 40 mobs, 50 mobs all in a little packed area, definitely go check it out. The second way is to look for certain things you want to farm for. Certain mounts, mats, or epics. Knowing you want allows you to make a farm for that specific reason. And sometimes farms can provide you more than one thing, such as a mount, epics, and maybe cloth, all from one farm. Maybe epics and meat from a farm with no mount, killing multiple birds with one stone. Now we go to Wowhead and look for certain mobs to test out. Reminder that Wowhead's not an accurate account on what Blizzard drop rates are and what mobs they drop off. The only place to get that information, the most reliable, like the 100% correct ones, is Blizzard servers themselves, and we don't have that. So Wowhead is the next best thing. Wowhead gets data off players who have the Wowhead client installed, which tracks all the loot you obtain in-game and what mobs they come from, uploading that data to Wowhead, and they can update it to show the closest representation of the drop rate. So with this data, we can search for possible farms. Remember that if the mob doesn't have the certain drop on its loot table, doesn't mean it can't drop, just there's no data for it yet. We're still early in the expansion, so we're yet to see all this data increase into the hundreds of thousands. This is where you take the leap of faith and do some testing yourselves, because Wowhead doesn't have data for everything. Now, if we take a look, we are looking at the Reins of the Tamed Blood Feaster. This one drops in Nazmia. It's not 100% Nazmia, I don't think. I think it's from any blood troll that can drop, but we'll have to see. There's still more and more testing to do. And if we look, we're looking at like the Blood Witch. If we take a look at the Blood Witch, it has a 0.5% drop rate. From 5,400 kills, it's dropped 29. So if you look at the Blood Witch, and you can take a look exactly where the Blood Witch is, but it's just one single mob. So very unlikely it's force spawn, but you can see all the data of what other players have gotten from it. And then you can also go to another one. Let's just say the Blood Stalker. The Blood Stalker is this one up here where Student Albatross made his video, and this spot does force spawn. You can always just go there and test it yourself. This is just if you were looking at Wowhead, and you can take a look. And as you can see, it is in its loot table with a 0.2% drop chance. 13 out of 6,000 kills. But in 1 hour, let's be honest, you can probably kill, well actually I don't know how many. Probably in an hour you can probably kill like 1,000, 2,000. There's probably other mobs there as well. You'd have to go and do your own testing and get the numbers. And as you guys can see, it's objective, which means it is a quest, a world quest, meaning that the people do actually kill these, so they will require them to force spawn. Next one, we can look at this one, which is a different location. This one, as you guys can see, is not part of any, objective, and so it doesn't force respawn. But of course, if it's just one single mob, it doesn't force respawn. It's just got a fast respawn timer. And as you guys can see, this is the location of it. I've tested this one myself. It doesn't force respawn. And as you can see, it's 0.3 with 4,200 kills. And of course, you can check other stuff as well. And sometimes you'll see epics and stuff like that. And finally, we have the Blood Troll Hexa. This is the spot I was farming for a while, but it recently got released. So I'm just doing a different farm just for now. And as you guys can see, this one is part of an objective, so it does force respawn. This is the one student also did a video on. So if you guys want to check out any of these blood trolls, you can definitely just look through the list. But remember, just because it's not on the list doesn't mean it can't drop. And there you go. That is exactly how you search for if an item drops off certain things. And if you actually take a look, you can start seeing that the Blood Witch, Blood Troll, Blood Hunter, of course, lower gutter, you can start seeing like certain mobs, certain types of mobs dropping what you actually need. So always remember to check here, but if it's not here, take a leap of faith. After you have found some locations, you'll be looking if the location force respawns. There are a few defining features when looking for force respawn locations. It's not always correct, but it does happen quite often. They are correct most of the time. First type of farm you are looking for is a quest area. These types of farms have certain objectives, such as kill 10 of these pigs, or a world quest that requires you to kill 10 of these pigs. When a quest has an objective, Blizzard has learned that if multiple people are doing the same quest and not in the same party together, they can be stuck camping spawn locations for the full duration of a spawn timer, around 5 minutes, of just standing there. This doesn't make the leveling experience very enjoyable as you're just waiting for for respawns, but it has a forced respawn mechanic built in. So if there are less than X amount of mobs, it will spawn some more. That's how you make it more enjoyable. So even if there are 5 people doing the quest, there will always be a few mobs up for you to kill. In this video, you can see if I kill all these pigs, they're required by a rogue quest and they will respawn as I kill them, making them a forced respawn. The second type of farm is a point of interest farm, such as an area that requires you to perform certain tasks in the given area. The mobs are required to make the area seem populated and make it so it's not too easy for you to complete the task, such as needing to collect 5 books in a certain town, or killing a specific named mob and he will have many mobs on the way to him and on the way back. The one shown in the video is a named mob which the quest requires you to kill him inside a cave. The mobs outside will respawn really quickly when you kill your way in, and they will respawn behind you, making your way back out a little challenge as well. And lastly, we have a farm that is purely cosmetic. These have a very low chance to be force spawned, but could prove to be some of the best farms, since nobody ever thinks about these ones. If you look at the deer farm in Drustvar that got fixed, this farm is purely cosmetic. The deer are not used in any quest and no reason to respawn, but I believe Blizzard put a forced respawn on them because it's an inn where there's something about like nature. Even the innkeeper is a big deer, so it's all the mobs are like required to make it look always full, always peaceful, all about nature. But then you got people like us coming in, turning nature's peaceful inn into Bambi's slaughterhouse. There are other purely cosmetic farms such as rivers, lakes, mountains. In the video, you can see a small river with 4 mobs. This is just to show you that the 4 Loch Ness monsters are only there to make the river feel full instead of empty water. These 3 are quite important when finding any farm, but there are smaller features that can help you decide if the farm can force respawn. These are just things to look out for, such as caves, little towns, farms, fenced off areas, and most importantly, the size of the farm itself, because these can help you determine if a farm is worth farming, because the smaller the area, the easier it is you to control it and without having to move around as much. After you have gathered all this information, there's only one thing left to do. Go out and test it. Get a few friends together and see if the spot you have chosen will force respawn. find the best way to tackle the certain location and what classes will be the best. Remember that it's not about finding any forced respawn. The aim is to find the best forced respawn for the specific purpose. And good luck to everyone on finding the perfect farm. Thanks for watching, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for future content. And I hope the RNG gods favor you. Bye bye.